the other day, my wife calls me. I'm here working on the studio, finishing some stuff up, and she's asked me if I want to go watch a movie. And I said, sure, let's go downstairs in the living room. So I grabbed a bunch of Barbies because I haven't figured out what to do with these guys that I've got at a thrift store for just like a couple of dollars for like a bundle of like 8 or 9. So I took the Barbie with me and I sat there watching the movie, and there on my coffee table was this. Right? And I said, aha. So I was going to do a face mask kind of deal, like a peeled skin, like this one. So I just took the face off of this Barbie, it was there, and cut the mouth, the eyes out, put some cuts and some stitches, as you can see here on the side. And I just didn't have a particular reason for it, except for I was trying to figure out what to do. So I just did this, took a picture and put it on Instagram. People really liked it, and they said, oh, I want to see where this is going or what you're going to do with that thing. So I said, maybe that's a good idea. I'm going to figure out what to do with this. So I thought of setting up a scene, but this was for Instagram, not for YouTube or anything. And I wanted a scene where the killer is wearing this, and then it shows the dead victim. I started thinking, I said, you know what I'll do is I'm just going to put a camera on me, on how I do this, and it might become a tutorial if you see what I did, or it might be just me showing you how I did it, and not necessarily a tutorial per se. So this is where I am. So I cut the face off of this Barbie that used to look like this, right? And then all I had was left over was the head. My youngest son asked if he could have it to cut it with some scissors. So I gave the rest of the hair, and he cut it up and then threw it in the trash. So I ended up with a victim with no head. So I cannot use this. I have to sacrifice another one. So I'm trying to decide which one to use. I decided on this one because her face cannot be made creepy. So I'm just going to cut her face off. This is going to be the victim, and here is our serial killer. So let's see. What I'm going to do is take some red enamel and just paint the inside and the edges to make it look bloody. Okay, so that's one of the setups that I'm doing. All I'm trying to do here is get a picture or like a 2-second video, and I'll tell you what I have in mind later. So we have victim, serial killer with no clothes. I'm gonna have to figure something out. And we have a face. I want the edges in particular to look bloody, and I'm going to smear some of it on the outside of the face too. I would assume it'll be pretty bloody if you go and cut somebody's face off. So also on these cuts that I did with the knife, I'm going to put a little bit of this enamel to look like blood. There you go, let that dry. Now here's our face donor, so I'm going to have to cut the face out. I might be able to use the face for something else. I'm just going to cut along the lines similar to that. There you go, face donated. We'll use that for something else. Maybe I can make my wife a ring, right? Like that. Okay, so we have a faceless Barbie, and there's gonna be your donor for the body. All right, first step, I'm going to get blood on the edges first here. Just some wholesome entertainment, right? Okay, enter the teddy bear. This teddy bear is my son's, and this teddy bear broke, and all of the filling, all this stuff, see it there? Fell out like 4 years ago. And I said, oh, I'll fix it. My wife said, oh, we'll fix it, no problem, let's put it in a bag. Well, it's been 4 years and it's been sitting in the bag. And these beads, I realized make for great like eyeballs for like spiders and some insects. And I'm going to use them as eyeballs for our face. So I'm going to take 2 of these filler beads and turn them into eyes. I'm just taking a handful of these beads and look for the roundest ones to make the eyeballs. So this one and maybe this one. That's it. I'm going to use those 2 little beads. So these little beads are very hard to maneuver because they're tiny, right? So you put them here on my phone, you can see what I mean. They're tiny, so what I'm going to do is take a toothpick and break off just the end, like that, and glue it to the end just to give me something to hold on to the bead. Alright, so now for the flesh, the face, I'm taking some of that liquid latex flesh that I showed you in a couple other tutorials, which I will link below. But all this is liquid latex mixed with red food coloring, maybe some yellow to make it look a little orange, or mix it with a little blue if you want it to look kind of purple. And then you just peel it off and stick it in a very random shape. And I'm just going to stuff this here in the face as if it was just all the flesh left after the guy took care of, you know, of the victim. There's the first piece of flesh. See that? I'm going to flesh the whole face. And after that is done, we're going to glue those eyes in there. Okay? This is not even a tutorial, and it's going to be maximum yuck. You can be sure of that, if it doesn't already look like it. I'm going to also get the hair all dirty, because it's like perfect. I'm going to bloody it up a little bit for this, right before we take the picture with some fake blood. And we'll take care of the serial killer after this. We're also using glue blood and just fake blood in general. The good thing about the glue blood is that it dries, and it dries, you know, all the way where it's non-sticky. It looks like we are reaching a new level of creepy. So what I'm going to do here in this gap, see there's a gap there. See this skull? I'm going to cut the teeth out, at least a couple of them, see if they fit in there all right. If not, I'll just remove them and leave it just like a fleshy face. So there's the teeth, right? So let's see if we can fit those teeth in there somehow under all that flesh. Oh crap, this is gonna look awesome. You can see some teeth, look at that. Now we're just gonna surround it with flesh, and this face is done and disgusting. Right, while the rest of the flesh dries, I'm just going to take this Sharpie and draw like a little pupil or like a iris around the eye, just black because it's just tiny. And I don't have that dexterity to be drawing a full eyeball on that tiny little thing. How's that? Cool? I don't think this is rated G anymore with all this gore. Alright, while the flesh dries on that Barbie, and I got some other flesh going over there, I'm just going to put some blood around where the mask would fit. So this mask is going to fit on top, so I'm going to put just a little bit of blood all over. I would assume you would get your face all blood if you're wearing somebody else's face. That's my guess. I just have to figure out how to make some clothes for this guy. I might have to wrap him on a paper towel or something. I am pretty much done here, and this is pretty creepy. I'm going to show you what I did with Barbara and Kenneth. These are the actors in today's picture. I'm going to take that picture and I'm going to explain what I have in mind for the picture, and then my question for you. So here's Barbara. Face missing, right? As creepy as it can get. Blood everywhere. Then we have the face. which I'll show you on Kenneth once we get to the photo place. Then for Kenneth, okay, there's see with this blood all over, right, where the face is gonna go. But if you notice, he has some fancy pants on, and I took that from one of the dolls that I found at the Goodwill. If you look really quick, you won't notice that this is lace. So let's pretend it's just some regular pants. So now, here's the idea. This was the idea. All this is just for a picture, for a mini video for Instagram. So I want you to tell me which one is better. Number one, I'm focusing on him with the face mask on, right? He's just sitting on a chair with the face mask. And it makes you wonder, whoa, what's going on with this dude? And then as I zoom out, then you see Barbara laying dead with her face missing. So that's one way. You see the mask, you know what's going on. Once you see that she's missing the face, you realize, okay, he cut her face off. The other one is the other way around. Focus on her first, on Barbara, show her missing her face. And you think like, what happened here, an accident or what's the deal? And then when the camera zooms out, then you see him sitting on a chair or whatever, wearing her face, and you go, oh my God, he took her face. You know, that's why her face is missing. So which one do you think is better? Going from him with a mask to her without a face, or start with her without a face and go to him with a mask? So let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, I'm gonna go and shoot both. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use my DSLR, which is a Nikon. And the good thing about it is there's manual. And the idea there is to open the diaphragm as big as possible, which gives you very narrow depth of field. And what that does is if I have her sitting here and him sitting in the back, I can focus on her and he'll be on focus, right? On this camera, you'll see that she's on focus, he's on focus, I'm on focus. So that's a deep, a big depth of field. You can even see that window's focus, right? What I'm going to do is a very narrow focus. So she's focused and he's unfocused, to go from the girl to the guy. Or the other way around, where he's in focus and then he starts getting out of focus and she goes into focus. So that's what I'm going to do with the camera. So I'm going to go set up and I'll show you how I shoot this. And let me know which of the two scenarios you like. Let me know what you think about this thing so far. Alright, so there you have it. There's your custom Barbie, or Barbara, or whatever that kind of doll was. I don't think that was a Barbie. And there's your custom serial killer Kenneth, or Kenny for short. So if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe now. I'll give you a minute while you look at them again. Okay, not a whole minute. And I will see you next time. Hello, cat. You always jump in my shot. But people love seeing you, you know.